Field strip, pretty simple. Always needs to be done as soon as you're done shooting. It's a good way to keep your gun clean and operational. First thing I'm going to do is clear and make safe the gun. Drop the magazine, I lock the bolt to the rear. I can visually and physically inspect to make sure that there's not a round in the chamber. And this gun is clear. So I need to release the bolt forward, and then I'm going to take out the detents. The gun's going to hinge open, and I can remove the bolt carrier group and the charging handle. Also going to leave this open so that I can get to the barrel. My little field cleaning kit. I've got my little handy dandy old Army t-shirt that I use as a rag now. Lay it out, and then I have some type of lubricant, something to punch the barrel with, multi-tool if I need it, and then a wire brush. So let's get down to it. I need to take apart the bolt carrier group. So I'm going to reach in with my little pinky finger, and I'm going to pull this retaining pin. Now, anytime you're going to take something apart, lay it out on something that you can see it with. So I'm going to lay it out here on my little towel for right now, my little rag. Hit, drop the firing pin. This firing pin wanted to get out of there. Okay. Turn and take out the cam pin, and then you should be able just to pull the bolt straight out. That is disassembly to field strip level. Now we want to clean it. I'm going to wipe down any part that needs to be wiped, brush off any caked on fouling. Firing pin, I can just give it a good wipe. Bolt, wipe down. Now, I like this little Cat M4 tool, and it's by Combat Applications Tools Incorporated. Quite honestly, I don't care who makes it. It's a great little tool, and it's for cleaning the top of the bolt. And all you do is put your bolt in there, and it scrapes it. So I really like this tool. If you don't have one, you need to get one. They're pretty awesome. All right, so clean out the bolt. Cam pin gets wiped down. I go ahead and wipe my little retaining pin as well. And then I need to oil it up. So I just hit a little. And we're ready to go. So bolt goes back in. Inside the bolt, you know, there's a hole right here. One side is larger than the other. When you put the bolt in, you're going to be able to see it from the top of the bolt carrier group. The cam pin has a hole in it. You want to put it in sideways. If it did not go in that time, look, just rotate the bolt over to the other hole. So you know it went in that time. Look, it's not going in this time. Again, you got a 50-50 shot at it. Goes in, and then you're going to turn it 90 degrees. Because remember that hole in it? Makes that hole go up. Wrap your hand around the openings on the bolt carrier group. Take your firing pin, pin side down, and drop it in. You can see it goes right in. And then you have this retaining pin. The bigger hole tells you what side it's going to go in. Now, if you have a new gun, like this new gun, this retaining pin is kind of open, and it needs to go into this really small hole right here. So you don't want to force this. If you were to force it, you're going to push it apart, and it's going to be ruined, and you're going to have to buy another one off of Brownells or Midway USA or something like that, and you're going to have to wait the 3 to 4 days for it to come in. So don't do that. What I like to do is push it in. Make sure my firing pin's down. Push it in till I meet a little bit of resistance, and then I like to just turn it and try to find that little sweet spot. And there we go. I turned it in enough, and there it goes. Now, the way you test it to make sure it went in right, push the bolt all the way in, sling it, and it should come out. And we're good. Now, when I put this back in the gun, I want to make sure that the bolt's fully extended. Charging handle. Give the charging handle a good wipe. If you want to put a little bit of lubrication on the outside, that's great. Moving on. The barrel. You need to just punch the barrel. So I got one of these little barrel snakes, bore snakes. It's got a weighted copper end. Drop that weighted end down into the barrel till it comes out the end. Then I give a little bit of pull. Now here's where guys screw up. They try to just yank it all the way in. You're going to rip it. Feed it in there a little bit until you get it started into the barrel. Okay. Then I like to wrap it around my hand several times and then one straight pull. This bore snake has some copper bristles tied into it. And then the rest of it is a cleaner, and then it absorbs some stuff. So it gives you a nice little punch of the barrel. Again, this is just a field strip. This is not a detail clean. And you may want to do this 2 or 3 times depending on how many rounds you've been shooting it. Now that I've punched the barrel, look at the trigger mechanism, the hammer. Maybe I need to wipe some fouling off of it. Wipe down the insides. Wipe the face off of the buffer tube. And then take your hand and cup it such. Put your little rag around it. And then put your hand in there and wipe the sides. Finger around it. Put it in there. Give it a good wiping. And that's really all there is to field strip. And then cleaning and lubrication, and you're good to go. The last little bit of touch would be spray some lubricant or put some lubricant in there in your upper receiver. Reassembly from field strip. Beware of the notches. Slide the charging handle in till it hits the notch and falls down. Then I like to slide it in, like 1/4 of an inch or so. Bolt carrier group. Bolt is out. Lay the gas key into the tray of the charging handle and then run them both in. The bolt carrier group should sit flat against the upper receiver. I'm going to close. You say, EJ, it's not fitting, it's not going in. It's because, look here, so you're not that guy at the range. Your pin pushed in. Pull the pin back out. It happens all the time, but I've seen guys just sit there and slam their guns, and all you're doing is messing up that pin. Okay, so pull the pin back out, push it in, and then re-engage the pin. And that's reassembly from field strip. Now, in order for us to make sure that the gun's still working, we want to do a function check. So it's pretty easy. Put the gun on safe. Trigger should not fall. Hammer should not fall. Shouldn't be able to pull the trigger. I'm going to charge the weapon. Place it on safe. Again, shouldn't be able to pull the trigger. Move it. Selector switch from safe to fire. And I should be able to hear the hammer fall. Okay. Now, while holding the trigger to the rear, charge the weapon one more time, and as I slowly release the trigger, I should be able to hear the trigger reset. There's your trigger reset. Now I should be able to pull the trigger one more time, and the hammer should fall.